Yo, guys, welcome into Locky Top Sports weekly podcast edition. Man, March Madness, we are in it, among it, going through it. Some people are better than others, especially, people like me, Tennessee Volunteers. The rest of the SEC, definitely not having a good time. Thus far in March Madness, they are all down bad. But man, I want to welcome Big Texas. He's with us tonight. We got a huge contest tomorrow with the Longhorns in the second round of the NCAA tournament. So Big Texas, man, what do you think about the SEC? You guys are about to join the league. And the only team that has survived their first round game so far is the team that you play tomorrow night. So what are your thoughts about the league you're about to enter basketball wise? And what do you think about tomorrow night at 8:00?
Well, brother, I want to have, thank you for inviting me back on the show. It's always great to talk to you boys. But I mean, this SEC, I thought it was a premier league in college basketball. Doesn't look that way, brother. You got beat by a bunch of future millionaires in Yale. You got Kentucky not being ready, losing to a bunch of white guys. Then you got, a whole slew of other teams losing. Doesn't seem like the deep conference you're talking about, just a few weeks ago. Got 8 teams in, 4 of them are out already in round 1. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of it, man. And I think as for tomorrow's game, like this is going to be a great game. Tennessee's favored by 6.5 points. So, I mean, it should be relatively close, but man, this is the Rick Barnes Bowl. And we'll finally be able to settle what shade of orange is the right orange.
Oh, there's only one shade, and I'm showcasing it here tonight. There's only one proper shade of orange. But yeah, man, it will be an exciting matchup, I think, for the obvious storylines with Rick Barnes. He used to be the head coach at Texas. For those people that don't know, if you've been living under a rock for the last 15 to 16 years, Rick Barnes used to coach at Texas. Now he's our head coach, and yeah, man, second round game tomorrow night in Charlotte. It's going to be an intriguing matchup to say the least. But I think obviously Tennessee is going to take care of the Longhorns.
What do you think the keys are to the game, man, for you guys?
I think it's pretty simple. Dalton Connect. I think that's the keys for us. There was an interview with your head coach, Big Texas, that was asking about what do you think about Dalton Connect? He said, well, he's got NBA size and he's going to be a future NBA player. And, he's got all the intangibles that make him a great basketball player, not only at this stage in his basketball career as a college player, but obviously the potential to be a great NBA player. So I think we go, Tennessee goes as Dalton goes. I know last night against St. Peter's, he kind of had a game that, man, it was a quiet, what was it, like 22, 24 points, something like that?
Yes, sir.
Anybody that can make a game like that quiet is kind of impressive because they're so used to him being at a 30-point clip every time he steps out on the floor. It's just really indicative of the type of player that he is, and also what his opponents expect for him to bring as well. So the media has obviously been juicing Dalton ever since basically all year. But when the tournament started, he's been doing all those interviews and stuff. But a lot to expect. And I think Texas is not going to get caught off guard by DK tomorrow night. But I think if we have the production that we had across the board last night from Jonas, from Zakai, heck, even Santiago Vescovi, You know, he's no longer Vescovy. We're turning him back around. He's going back to Vescovy. You know, I hope he went and got some highlights in his hair. You know, frosted tips and everything. Because when he had that style going on, he was banging threes left and right. You know, he was the guy that was getting double teamed and really the offense for Tennessee. So I think he had 6 points last night. So you know, it's good to see Santi actually put some numbers up last night. So, but it was a complete effort from the entire team last night, not just give the ball to Dalton and go score 40 for us, man, and save us. But I think tomorrow night we'll showcase a little bit more of DK's talents. And you got to think, Big Texas. This is definitely win one for the skipper kind of thing, right? You know, the Tennessee team and the Tennessee players, and you know, Coach Barnes really wants this game. He's got to want it really bad, right? The way you guys ran him off from, down in Austin a few years back, I'm sure that hasn't set well with him. So, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, brother. I think just generally about the game. I'll start with that first, then I'll talk about Rick Barnes later. But we got to score some damn points. 55, 60 points ain't gonna cut it.
Ain't gonna cut it.
You know, they're gonna be up Shit's Creek without a paddle. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I definitely know.
Without scoring, Tennessee is not gonna be that anemic of an offense, I don't think. And I think really we got to put up 70 points to have a shot. That's my magic number for tomorrow night. If we get within 70 points, I believe we can cover the game. It is only a 6.5 point spread, so the bookmakers are giving Texas a little bit of credit. I think that's also some round two. You know, they typically don't do these 10 point spreads, but yeah, we have some size, but not the size that typically bothers Tennessee. So honestly, if I'm giving you a biased, non-burnt orange opinion of the game, Tennessee should win. But if they want to keep it close, Texas got to score 70. Now moving on to Rick Barnes, like I think he has a little bit of stank on him from the way Texas ran him out the building. I don't think he is taking this game lightly either. I don't think he's looking forward to, Sweet 16 or Elite 8. He knows any win he gets in March is pivotal, so he's going to be having these boys focused. And I think, honestly, defensively is where they can shine. Offense is, something that kind of happens as a result of the defense. And I think I saw a stat when Adu scores more than 10 points. They're
14-2.
Yeah, 14-2. That's another key number that, my cousin talks about that. We need three people scoring over 10 points. And I think he's right. Like that's the kind of recipe for success for everyone. And yeah, Rick Barnes, I think he really wants to beat down Texas. But this has potential to be a good game. That's what I will say. Tennessee, I believe, will win, but is it by 5? Is it by 10? Is it by 15? We don't know. We got to watch.
Ball's by 50, baby. By 50. You're going to think Josh Heupel and high-powered offenses out there tomorrow night. That's the way I think Tennessee basketball is going to run through Texas. To quote Nick Saban, I think he said shit through a screen or shit through a horn or something like that. It was a really weird take that he said, but it ran through it really fast, whatever it was. So, but yeah, man, Tennessee last night got a lot of guys in there, and I think they're going to be a little bit more rested. But I mean, Texas did play a team that only scored 11 points in a half. So I don't know, how much effort Texas really had to expend against Colorado State. But, it is one of those things that is March. you never know what you're going to get from game to game. I think each game obviously takes on their own identity, and you can't really use transitive properties to look at the previous game and apply them to the game that you're going to play in the next round.
Yeah, I believe like the way the numbers work out, if these two teams played 10 times, let's say, I believe Tennessee would win 8 or 9 of those 10. But, it is any given day in March and it's a one game series. So we got to keep in mind we need that kind of performance to actually, make a mark or make a dent in this game. And we're both part of the hold our opponents to under 50 club. So, part of it is defense, part of it is also playing shitty teams. You can't separate one from the other, but I think that's definitely something to come into fruition this game. We got to keep out for that. And Rick Barnes, they were calling for Mr. Wildcat's job today in Lexington. If the same or similar things happen today to Rick or tomorrow to Rick Barnes, I don't imagine it'll be all that different in Knoxville.
If we don't beat Texas tomorrow, I think what Kentucky fans have been doing all day to John Calipari won't even be close to what Tennessee does to Rick Barnes. I mean, nuclear. I think Tennessee will burn it down so bad if we lose to Texas tomorrow night. Like I said, they'll go nuclear. Oak Ridge, I'm telling you, it's gonna blow up the mountains so much that the coal miners will be able to come down from Kentucky to harvest all the coal to pay for not only John Calipari's buyout but also Rick Barnes' buyout. So it'll be a glorious thing to see the afterglow if that happens. I think you'll see both fan bases, uniting together on that front to get rid of their coaches. So I know Tennessee fans are taking their shots on the Twitters or the X machine and all over social media after the calamity last night that happened with our brothers up north. Yeah, man, you love to see it though. As a Tennessee fan, but we've been down bad quite a few times too. So I don't want to rally too hard until we make it at least to the Sweet 16, get out of the first weekend, and then But we did make it further than everybody else that was talking shit a week ago today about how we weren't playing in the SEC tournament anymore. So joke's on you. Everybody in the SEC that made the NCAA tournament, we're still playing, and you're not. It looks like A&M will probably hang on here. I'm looking at the score. They're up on Nebraska 58-42. So it looks like A&M will probably move on to Sunday to the second round, minus a huge collapse in the second half.
Yeah, man, I'm going to get to what happened in to Kentucky and South Carolina, because those fan bases were shitting on us pretty hard.
Yeah, Auburn, they were dunking, hanging on the rim.
SEC champs, Auburn out, beat by a bunch of elite New England folk.
Yale, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Yale winning is just unfair, man, because those guys are going to be millionaires on their own.
Absolutely.
Their life is kind of set going to Yale, and then they put the beat down on the SEC champions.
Whoa. Tennessee didn't play Yale. There we go. Let's make sure we clarify that. Auburn was not the SEC champions. There's only one SEC champion, and that's Tennessee. Auburn won the SEC tournament championship. Hats off to them. That did them a lot of good. It gave them a great seed. It matched them up against obviously a pretty good opponent there. That's what you get for winning your conference. You get a hot 13 seed Ivy League school, and you go home in the first round. So, hey, yeah, shout out to Stephen Pearl. Love to see it. Looks like Yell was visited the barbecue today and torched y'all's ass and sent y'all back down to the plains of Auburn, Alabama. Couldn't happen to a better guy. So yeah, as much as it pains me to see Bruce go out, his shithead son losing makes it all the while a lot easier. To swallow seeing Bruce go down today. But anyway, man, yeah, let's talk about this. Is Chase going to be able to make it tonight?
He said that he might, but yeah, nothing from him in the last 20 minutes. So maybe he's driving. Maybe he'll make it a little later. But I mean, shit, man. Kentucky made the big mistake of underestimating a 25-year-old white guy in March. These are the exact people you need to cover. They got one
absolutely
on offense, really.
He was. I saw a stat with him. He was 4 for 8 from 2-point land all season. All season.
He don't.
But the rest of his shots were threes. Like he shot what, like 1,200 threes this year or some shit like that.
Yeah, I think it was around 300, but
I know it was some crazy ass huge number, right?
Yeah. He only shoots threes, man.
Yeah. So if you're coming in, like, let's say you're running scout for Kentucky, and you got a guy, and he's attempted hundreds and hundreds of 3-pointers. What are you going to do, Naveen? Are you going to let him come out there and shoot 10 in your face?
I mean, he had about 5 or 6 foot of space the whole night. Dillingham was, he was trying to defend him, but he wasn't even close to him, man. You got to be in his hip. You got to be in his hip if you want to guard a 3-point shooter. And it's not like he has a tremendous handle either. He dribbled the damn ball 4 times. 4 the game for the full game. That means he's just catching and shooting, man. Shouldn't be that hard. Should not be that hard to guard him. So I don't know what the fuck they were doing or what Cal was doing. And I understand why why Kentucky fans are so pissed, man. There was no game plan. There was nothing.
It was sad, man. And I'll tell you, Kyle, the Kentucky fan, he's been a frequent guest on our show. And, I seen a lot of posts today. He was down bad, man. My wife texted his wife. They're really good friends. And asked Miss Katie if Kyle was okay. And Katie told me basically that Kyle had crawled into a corner in the fetal position and was curled up in a space blanket, wishing that he had a new basketball coach and that the big bad, Oakland, what are Golden Bears?
Yeah,
would go away. Leave him alone. Poor guy. I mean, he just. This is a very loyal Kentucky fan. I mean, he has the big Kentucky K on the forearm with the Wildcat, hissing or moaning or whatever the hell it's doing there on his arm. But he's loyal. He's Big Blue Nation or Big Broke Nation, whatever you want to call it right now. But yeah, man, he's down bad, and my heart goes out to him. He was in a dark place. Anytime a rabid Kentucky fan will send you a text, and I quote, "Go win the whole damn thing. I'm rooting for you guys." End quote. You know he's down bad. And shout out to my boy Kyle. It's all love, bro. It's all love. And man, back to the coal mines. Back to the coal mines.
Yeah, man. One thing I noticed during the game is that they really didn't have an answer for this guy. For what's his name? What's his name again? Yeah,
You talking you talking about the shooter?
the shooter. Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay, we'll just call him the shooter. They did not have an answer for the shooter at all, and really, it was pretty pathetic. Performance by all these lottery picks: Rob Dillingham, Reed Shepard, all these motherfuckers. I think combined, those two only had like 13 points.
Golke. It was Jack Golke.
Jack Golke, former Uber driver,
Former Uber driver, yeah.
former D2 player. I mean, he showed what like the new era of college basketball is about. It's about having these experienced guys.
Big Texas, real quick. I
Yeah.
think I figured it out for Kentucky. I think I figured it out. If they can mine enough coal and find the money to pay Calipari's buyout, they need to hire Golke as their new coach. They need to bring him in there because obviously he knows how to win. And, he is the state of Kentucky's daddy right now. Because he basically just punished them all, bent them over the barrel, showed all those toothless, slack jaw yokels up there, the damn 50 states, and dropped 30 plus on them. So yeah, if you're looking for a great basketball mind and someone with a good basketball acumen and someone with longevity and that can shoot his shot, Big Blue Nation, you're on the clock. Oh, call my man from Oakland. He'll be available. You probably get him on the cheap, man. Jack Golke.
Yeah, he might go back to Uber.
He might go back to Uber. Yeah, that's right.
But he will have a job if they want him. I don't know, man. I think that this was a great moment to see, not just as a Tennessee fan, but it kind of encapsulates the new strategy in March. You go find these random fucks from D2 or some low end D1. We have one too. Don't forget Dalton Connect 2 years ago.
That's right.
Was
JUCO, baby.
JUCO 1 year ago was in northern Colorado. Shit, that's a similar story. I don't know if he's doing Uber. He was probably just shooting in the gym. But man, like you go find these guys, and oftentimes it's better to get them than it is to get a 18-year-old future NBA player. That doesn't translate anymore after NIL. You'd rather get a seasoned guard than a newcomer. I mean, Rob Dillingham and Reed Shepard, we should be able to see them in NBA rosters, but that doesn't matter when you fucking turn over the ball so much and get your ass handed to you by these old timers.
Yeah, and what about Reed Shepard, man? Great. A performance for the annals right there, or annals. 3 points all night long. It will ring out in the annals of Kentucky basketball for years to come. The prince that was promised to Big Blue Nation just goes in and lays the biggest egg on the biggest stage in front of his ugly mom and his daddy, who was what did Kyle say was Mr. Basketball from Georgia or something, betrayed the Bulldogs and went up north to the coal mines. And yeah, that's all he's got now is he's got that memory. Do you think Reed Shepard now comes back for another year at Kentucky, or does he go straight to the NBA?
I think anybody on this team that should go to the NBA should go.
You probably just get on Git, huh?
Yeah. I don't think they're safe back in Lexington anymore, man.
Yeah. What was that World Cup goalie? They got murdered down in Colombia. When in Colombia, they whacked him after he owned goal in the World Cup.
Yeah, man. I think that's a similar story.
Similar situation.
Yeah, if those guys aren't strapped now, they should be.
Yeah, definitely call some security for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was just ugly for them. And then I want to talk. I mean, we might not have Chase on for this pod. I want to talk about South Carolina too.
Yeah, get cocky, baby.
Yeah, get cocky. Didn't looks like they got cock blocked actually.
Oh yeah, sure
so,
did.
So yeah, I mean, we were talking about. Even I was, a little guilty of this. Like defense travels, you got to set the tone. 15 seed they got to all year. 12 seed, I think, even was their highest rank. I mean, really got outclassed by Oregon. They won by like 15. Wasn't really close. Like Kentucky, at least, stayed in the game the whole game, but this was over before it started.
Yeah, but to be fair to South Carolina, they played an opponent with a pulse. Yeah, they did play Oregon, a better seed than Kentucky did. But yeah, both teams punked. South Carolina wanted all that respect, and then, what they say about respect, it's earned.
Yeah,
you got to go out and earn it, and neither of those teams went out and earned it.
Yeah, man. I think.
What was your thoughts? Did you see the Jay Bias interview earlier today? After he was done, just salivating all over Duke, who looks like they're getting faded right now. He turned his eyes to Cal and gave kind of a little bit of an attaboy to him, but he wasn't as hard on him as others were. What were your thoughts about Jay Bias?
Yeah, I mean, he clearly has his favorites, and he never really attacks the blue bloods. I actually told him he was a clown on Twitter today, and I feel like that's appropriate because he was just saying, Cal's strategy is, I'm gonna get you to the NBA, which he does. Let's be honest. 1/3 of this year's All Stars were Kentucky players, so that's an interesting stat. But I mean,
but in the same breath, I feel like Cal has basically downgraded Kentucky to being just a petty little middleman between high school, AAU, and the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, I think the NBA canceled the G League and Ignite team because it just sucks so much. But that team is Kentucky.
Kentucky,
Yeah, it's that's all it is. They get some NIL. They stay for a year. They barely win a game or two, or none in this case, and that's what they do. Growing up, Kentucky was a lock for Final Four most years, or at least Elite Eight. And that program's going down. Well, it seems like we're trending up. So as one, powerhouse in the SEC falls, another one takes their place. So those are my thoughts. I don't know. Oh shit. We got Mr. Chase.
Sir Big Spur himself in the house.
We were just talking about your squad, man. I'm playing the Big Texas today, so mind my accent. It comes in and out. But tell us your thoughts on what happened to the Gamecocks.
First off, why the fuck does Josh look like a Tennessee Macho Man Randy Savage? I don't know.
Yeah, brother.
Snap to the Slim Jim. But
hey,
anyway,
we're snapping into the second round. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, you ain't played yet. Just hold tight.
It's easy to say from the couch there, big guy.
Yeah, same way with Florida. And
we're not Florida. Yeah, we're not them either.
Yeah, still a bunch of teams that beat y'all this year. But yeah, anyways, I have you picked to win, so I hope you do win. So I need my bracket to continue.
Thank you.
Smart pick. Yeah. But anyways, South Carolina didn't pack the defense. That's two players had 75% of their points. And it was inside. It was in the paint. And we don't let people in the paint score this year. That was our bread and butter. But we literally fouled and hacked anyone to come inside. It was like we couldn't contain. It was almost like it was a nervous defense. You can't play nervous defense, and it's like I said in prior episodes. You getting way too wild in round one, my brother. I'm trying to give you a heads up. It's tough eating your own words. You've already tasted them words too many times this year. Just let it be. But
hold on, brother. What have I had to taste other than SEC championship, number 2 seed?
Shit talking
First
on here, and
first
the
round.
SEC schools bending you
first-
over, and without lube putting it in,
Who?
multiple
Who?
times.
Who?
South Carolina.
Okay, we circled back and put it on y'all. So that's chalk.
But you can circle back on if you want to. What the Chiefs are clapped, they're clapped. You can go wherever you want to with it. Once they're clapped, they're clapped. It is what it is, and you haven't moved yet. I mean, you can deck out when it gets loud. That's like somebody decking out in the first week when they beat UL Monroe in football. At least get through the first round before we get wild, because then you're gonna take the background off. You're gonna sit and you be like, man, it's just hard, man. Rick Barnes, he was looking like the North was coming on Game of Thrones, and it was like this on the side. I was like, and then it was like, man, next year, Ziegler, if he'd have been 6'2" like his brother and not 5'7" ish, I just hold tight, bro. Just ease the jacket back. I don't know what it is with the bandana. I don't know what you got going on, but we've known each other since like 2011. You are just ruining it right now. I don't know what you got going on. I don't know what you're going for. Give me the mantra. Are you Andre the Giant or Ric Flair or who is you tonight? I need to know because I'm lost.
I'm Davy Lockett, baby. I'm Davy Lockett. That's who I am. I'm going to war. This is my war face, Chase. I'm going back to the Alamo. I'm going to the Alamo, baby. And I'm going to take Texas down.
We died. We all died at the Alamo. They shot us in the back, bro. What are you talking about? Secure the border now with Trump. We lost back then, bro. It didn't happen. Who are you? What you volunteering for, bud? Are you bringing the hound dogs out? You got to help me here. We brothers. I need to know what you got going on because I'm lost.
It's the madness, Chase. March Madness.
I guess it. Naveen got the Longhorn. He's got steers going everywhere. You change your background. You got a bandana with the power T on it, which down here in South Carolina we call it the flower T, lip wrist. I don't know what you got going on, my brother. I am lost at this point.
Speaking about lost, how did South Carolina get so lost? We talked about the defense was missing. What else was missing, Chase? What happened?
Dude, our defense stayed at the house. We were healthy. There's no excuse. There's no excuse to South Carolina losing. We were healthy. Stute has had a hard time being healthy all year. His first game back was against Tennessee, the first game whenever we won. He has floated inside and out with health. We've dangled 2 or 3 guys all year with coming in the lineup, coming back out, and that's the game you play when you got a game or you got a team jam full of transfers and freshmen. But that's what it was. And we lost. Our defense wasn't there. South Carolina's made their money, I've said it all year, on defense and high percentage 3-point shots and randomly being able to get to the paint. Once they see the 3 points there, they push out. They relax the defense in the paint, and we go over the top. Oregon literally 2 players scored 75% of their 75% of the points, and that was all in the paint. It wasn't the 3-point shot. They hit them here and there they made what a basic basketball game plays. But it was all in the paint, and we had no answer. Every time somebody would shoot it down, it was a hack before they ever done it. I don't know what coaching scheme we had for this game. I don't know if they said, hey, these guys are bigger than us, and they were in the paint. Just hack them. But we had like 3 guys with 4 fouls in the first half. And these are starters. And it was like we had to ease off. And it's like, all right, more 3-pointers, guys. That's the answer. And that wasn't even close to what was happening. So we felt out. I mean, plain and simple, our defense stayed in Columbia. We didn't bring it. And South Carolina this year has never been a team that has been able to play from behind. We have to push defense, and it has to be close. And then midway through the second half, you get wore down a little bit, you get a little bit frustrated, and then the 3 start hitting, and then we can make a little bit of a gap and hit it. If it wasn't like that, we weren't going to hit it. But what's good is everybody comes back. And we've got 2 guys that are seniors this year. They still had a COVID year, and both have declared that they're coming back too. So coach is back, players are back. That's a good thing. But other than that, man, South Carolina's a blip on the screen with March Madness. I don't know what the fuck Josh doing. I don't know if he ate shrooms tonight before we got started. I'm about to text his wife and say, just go on in there with the belt and get your man back right. But we're
talking about wives. Talking about wives. I'm glad that you bring that up.
Yeah, North Carolina. Yes, they beat Wagner today, and I picked that for my bracket. So I hope they do. I hope they win the next game too, and the next, because then they go out. But that's my bracket.
I think speaking about brackets, we had a lot of updates, man. We had this guy crushing. He had 14 straight in a row. Zach Roth. Don't know who he is, but he's crushing our bracket. Farm Ball Sports is currently the chip leader.
Yeah, he took the lead.
Is doing better than me. And where is Mr. Chase? Chase is also doing better than us. He's 5th.
I'm about to say, I picked a bunch of upsets that happened today.
Okay, what was your favorite upset that you picked, brother?
BYU going down, baby.
Okay.
I told everybody, I said, trust me. I said, I'm telling you, BYU has made their money this year. For some reason, I've always kind of liked BYU. I don't know why. But watching them this year, they were big on the 3-point. I didn't know much about Duquesne. But
Duquesne.
Yeah, they say Duquesne. Down here, we say Duquesne. And Duquesne, I looked at all their stuff, man. They made their money shutting down the 3-point line. And from what I saw with defenders and stuff like that, they truly done a great job on every level. You always see these random teams, and they're like, Dayton. Who have they played this year? And they get that. These guys have actually played random good teams, and they still shut them down on the random good teams that they get to play. They just got killed in the paint. Well, BYU didn't have the paint offense this year. They lived by the 3-point line. Duquesne shut it down. So I was like, I'm going with Duquesne to make that upset. And they did. They did exactly what I said. BYU tried to live by the 3-point line. When that got shut down, they went to the paint, which is something they haven't been able to do well all year. And boom, there it was. So that was my favorite upset. I called it. I also said that Drake was done. And everybody looked at me like, Drake's not losing. And I'm like, boys, when it comes to upset, talk to me now.
I think nobody wanted Drake to lose just because Drake's our favorite rapper.
Well, I'm with that. You know, I just had to take my wife out to eat. That's why we were late. But we listened to Drake there and Drake back, and I'm not talking about the new stuff. I'm talking about the old good stuff. You know what I mean? Like we were
only on camera, huh? Take care, huh?
I mean, we can even back up further than that. I mean,
thank me later. Yeah, thank me later.
Exactly, bro. We're just trying to be unforgettable. You know what I mean? And,
setting off some fireworks.
Well, I just want to say that I would come through, and my favorite cake is pound cake. And you know what? If anybody want to blame me,
eat the cake, anime.
if anybody wanted to blame me, I would say that would be all me. And we can connect on the language, but even if you turn left, just hold on, we're going home.
Okay.
And if I was gonna say rap gang forever, I would say Wu-Tang forever. You know, that's how deep into Drake we were. But Drake was going down regardless. And I predicted, I said it, and everybody, I'll say this too. I said Kentucky was gonna get their ass kicked and get on out. Shout out Kyle. He took shots at us, and I didn't like him.
Hey, look, man.
He come on. We come
that,
on mutual
that
ground
upset.
with the Braves and the Cowboys. But
Listen, that
Kentucky's
upset.
going out. They have no defense. I'm trying to say Kentucky goes out, and nobody wanted to hear me.
That upset was the best I ever had.
I was telling everybody, I'm telling you, Kentucky can shoot, but they cannot defend. When they run into teams that can defend this year, they have lost. You can shoot. I can go in the gym by myself and I look good shooting. But if somebody defends me, the 6'7", I can't shoot, boys. And I'm not even a great basketball player. So these guys, I'm telling you, that you can go in there 7 foot. If you're playing press defense, they can't win. That's why South Carolina swept them this year. They can't deal with a push defense, and they don't have the one stud. They can say, well, he didn't make All-American. He didn't make All-American for a reason. He can't take it when you push him. And Dalton Connect was the only guy on Tennessee that could. And when Dalton Connect was scoring on South Carolina, it opened up Ziegler to all of a sudden Ziegler's going in on one man when Dalton has two. Kentucky, we did the same thing to Kentucky. It was the exact same defense. And Kentucky couldn't move. That's what I was saying the whole time, but nobody wanted to hear it because they're number 1 in 3 points this year. They shoot the lights out. Yes, when they're not playing guys that just press the shit out of them, and that's what they had. Welcome to March Madness.
To be fair, I didn't think Oakland would be the one that did them in, but I did say Kentucky.
Oakland. And I didn't watch Oakland, but I looked at what they had on the defensive side of it, and it's the same thing. Whenever a defensive team in Oakland is a defensive team, they push, and then they score. That's a high-scoring team, but their defense is nothing but push. It's not a relax and a zone defense. They push the guys. You push it onto the three-point line. When the guy touches it, I have to touch him. Back in high school, we always called it a touch defense. All right, if the guy touches the ball, I have to touch him, and it's not that I'm guarding him that tight, but I need him to feel that pressure. That is Oakland. It is a touch defense. You touch the ball, I touch you. And it ain't nothing more than me sticking my left hand out and just touching your hip a little bit just to make you feel like you've got to get separation from me. It's more of a mindset than a defensive pressure set because obviously Kentucky has better athletes than Oakland. But what they done is they took that scoring mindset that Kentucky has where I got to get separation and I'm shooting number 1 in the country in threes. That's fine. You're shooting number 1 in the country because nobody guards you 5 foot behind the three-point line. I'm going to step out and I'm going to touch you. And that's what Oakland did. If you watch the game, Oakland touched them. They pushed. And that was all.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the game. But what I was going to say is I had Kentucky going out in the second round. They weren't getting out of the opening weekend. So, yeah, Oakland did them in. But, there you go.
I had them going out in the first, and it was a little bit assisted by Kyle shooting in South Carolina. I was like, well, then fuck you, Kentucky. I don't know why we're enemies. I don't know why we're mad at each other. That's like a Vanderbilt fan coming on here and be like, fuck South Carolina. I was like, well, what we do, bro? I mean, we just hanging out. I don't know why you mad at us.
They're projecting, Chase. Kentucky fans are projecting really bad right now, and it's okay. I get it.
We'll just ease them in, bro.
They've got one NCAA or one win in March in this decade.
Yeah. Yep,
that's wild.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, man. I think what you said about the touch defense is exactly what Kentucky should have done to Oakland. They gave them so much airspace, and they paid the price. Made some Uber driver.
Golke just dagger after dagger after dagger.
And now they're in a pickle because Cal is 65 sitting on 65 mil with another 33 coming guaranteed.
Right.
Yep.
Here's what happened to
Hit a
Kentucky.
lick, boy. Hit a lick.
And I've said it all year. And that's what's good about being a South Carolina fan, not a Tennessee fan, because Tennessee is favored usually most of the year because they usually perform during basketball season. They do. But South Carolina does not. And I've said since the beginning, I watched the preseason game. I watched these guys starting up, and they're having a rough start with all that. It's the exact same thing. They were underestimated from the beginning, and Kentucky has been notorious this year for overlooking a team to go on to the bracket because they got so many number ones in the stats. They can shoot the lights out. And if you find basketball teams that can shoot the lights out, most times they back up on guys, and they've played terrible defense all year. And so they backed up off Oakland, and Oakland, all of a sudden, they get a stroke. They're like, boom, boom, boom. You don't give a team that's got something to prove in the tournament space. You don't give it to them. If you don't know anything about March Madness, which blows my mind with these guys because they come from AAU tournaments and stuff like that, you don't give the underdog or an inch of room because that's the one you're fighting against. Everybody that can dunk the gym out, and you got 17 Steph Currys that want to shoot 78 threes all year. You don't give them guys space, man. You knock them down early and send them back to where they come from. Oakland should not beat Kentucky. But at the same time, if you give these guys space, you give that underdog an inch of room, they run it a mile. And I saw it as soon as the game started. Kentucky's in this soft-ass defense, and they can't play defense to begin with. Shout out Kyle. They can't play defense. So, and that's been their Achilles heel all year. They can't play defense. They just outshoot you all game. And they got shooters. But that's what happened with Oakland. Oakland just come, they pushed you, and you're going to push them back. It's just like a fist fight with that game right there. Oakland pushed, and Kentucky said, "I'm gonna just stand back here. If you want to slap backs, come. If you want to slap box, come on and get it." And that was it. And they rolled on from it. So Kentucky gave exactly what they got all year. They wanted to shoot the lights out, and they found a team that wanted to push them, just like a South Carolina, just like any other team that's played Kentucky this year, and push the defense. Watch the Tennessee-Kentucky game where Tennessee won. Tennessee did the exact same thing. They come out, they touched them every single time. It's a very small detail in basketball that so many people just pass over. It is nothing, and it's all right in between the ears. It is a touch defense. I'm going to touch you, and I'll give you 2 foot in case you drive on me every single time. Tennessee did it to perfection when they played Kentucky, and South Carolina done it twice this year when they play Kentucky. It's touch back up, touch back up. Touch back up. It's just nonstop pressure.
All right. I think at this point we've covered.
Kentucky's dead. Kentucky.
Yeah.
That horse. They're dead.
Most of the SEC is dead as well.
Yeah, except us.
Everybody's dead other than Tennessee. You're the only ones carrying the flag for us at this point.
A&M, like I said, they're still alive. Bama hasn't. I don't think Bama's played yet, right?
Bama's losing to Charleston right now, I think.
Oh my God, that's fucking
really.
Oh no, Bama up 1 now, 25.
Okay,
24.
all right.
Oh
but
my God!
I just want to say one last thing. There is absolutely nothing better than being a Tennessee fan when it comes to being a South Carolina fan. Nothing in comparison. Nothing at all. But we'll move along.
Yeah,
right.
man, I would love to get my hopes up every year for football season to go to the Citrus Bowl and the Gator Bowl.
What bowl game did you guys go to this year? Just out of curiosity.
Here's the thing: as a South Carolina fan, we don't think that we're going to wake up and be national champions every year, and that's what separates us from Tennessee fans. They wake up every year since 1998.
No.
Hey,
So,
we're going to win our championship this year, and then you don't, and then you're like, fire Dooley.
No, it's not that. So there's a difference. There's a difference between thinking we're going to win every year and there being an expectation that we should compete for national
Let
championships
me know
year in
when
and year out.
let me know when your defense can breathe hard enough for Josh Huppel to not go into a 22-second one and out offense, and then they can actually compete with the big dogs and not just stomp out these middle of the grade college football teams. Well, all at the SEC, we'll all wait. We're 10-2 this year. What did you win? Well, Josh Huppel's offense is fast. Okay, bud. You're no better than anybody that didn't go to a bowl game this year. Who gives a shit that they got a ring from the fucking Bourbon Bowl of South Louisiana State after you won 10 games? When the whole object of the team was, we're winning the championship every year. We're winning the SEC. No, you're not. No, you're not. And if you don't win the SEC East, bud, you're no better than Vanderbilt. You're no better than Florida. You're no better than Missouri. You're no better than South Carolina. If you don't win it all, then you didn't win it at all.
Well, the great thing is
That's
there is
true,
no more
bud.
SEC East. So,
Well, hey, but we're all open this year to everybody. But the biggest
South
problem
Carolina's been all open for everybody for a long time.
there's been
a lot of deposits in that big gaping hole.
That's right, but every single year we don't scream national championship, and we haven't won one since T. Martin was there, and T. Martin has a kid that's as old as us.
No, I know. That's the key thing. You've never won one.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, if you didn't win one since you were six years
times.
old, that's right, 6 times, and you haven't won one since you were 6. So
I was 10, but anyway.
That's cool. And you were such a Tennessee fan, hardcore. You were going to all the games. Don't get loud. Don't get loud. It's all the same, but Navy won a national championship back in the day. Are we going over there to Navy's boat and we're going to ride that too?
All right, boys.
Army has one. Are we going to Yale? They've done great in the tournament today, and then we're going to ride with them. I mean, if some dude walked up and they're like, hey, bro, Harvard won a national championship in a boat rowing in 1902, dude. And we're like, who gives a fuck? Who's winning it now? Who wins now? That's all that matters. And you know that's all that matters. That's why the SEC has a new head coach every other year. What do you do right now? You can have the highest powered offense ever. If your defense can't stop him, then because your offense goes 1 and out every 27 seconds, but we can still throw up 35 points a game. What's the difference?
So what makes? Let me ask you this, Chase. Let me ask you this question, and we'll move on to baseball. What makes someone a fan of an SEC football team?
Birth.
It's a birthright.
100%.
So anybody that cheers for Alabama that wasn't born in Alabama, what's that make them?
That's coat riders.
Okay.
Yeah, but coat riders come and go. They come and go. Yeah, but you're born and raised in Tennessee. That means
so I was about to say, because the only fucking reason anybody would be a South Carolina fan is because they're from South Carolina.
100%. 100%. But let me tell you this.
Because y'all don't win shit ever.
SEC East.
Hang the damn banner, baby.
Hey,
what was you just talking about?
I don't know. That's back whenever we were
polishing the empty trophy case. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
You can say what you want to, but you ain't polishing the trophy case.
I won't listen to nothing from some Millie Mouth South Carolina fan that ain't won shit since they were in the ACC.
But whenever we go into your trophy case, we got to blow the dust off of it. We can't even get there. We got to take 16 antihistamines to get away from the allergies because y'all ain't blew none off neither, my boy.
We blew y'all's ass off last year at home, and it's better to have a trophy case where dust can settle than one not to exist at all. And that's what y'all have down in Columbia.
You won the same amount of games the year before.
Poverty program.
The year before that, y'all won the same amount of games with the same amount of expectation when Spencer Rattler goes, bah! and then he slided in there on you. At Tennessee, it's the same thing, bud. I don't know why you don't understand this. If you don't win at all, we're all on the same platform. There's no platforms to anything. You either win it all or you don't. And you played sports, so I don't understand how you don't understand that second
I understand.
is the first loser. And Tennessee has thrived on being Cal Norton, bud. You're not Ricky Bobby, and you ain't been Ricky Bobby since T. Martin had black cubes. They're gray now, my boy.
Yeah.
Been there since the Tennessee. It ain't there.
This is all rich coming from a Gamecock. It's super
Yeah,
rich.
but here's the thing, though. It's all a flat platform if we all ain't winning, my boy.
It is not flat.
You ain't Georgia. You ain't Bama. So if you ain't one of them two, you down here with us. You hang out with us.
We're definitely not down there with y'all.
Yeah, man. You up there with everybody else at second place.
All right, Chase. Let's switch gears a little bit. We got plenty of time before football season. We'll be talking shit for 6 months still.
Come on.
But let's talk about baseball. Baseball, we had 2 games, Dodgers and in Seoul, South Korea. Wish we had our resident Korean on the stream, but fortunately he's busy with work. But I mean, interesting showings. We had, God's gift to pitching, Yamamoto, Mr. $300 million, have 1 inning pitched, gave up 5 runs, 45 ERA. Just so funny, man. Good to see. I love these high-priced guys coming in and just laying an egg. I actually saw Ohtani live pitching with the Angels 2 years ago, and he couldn't make it out of the first inning. One of the fucking funniest games ever. He had a 72 ERA live at the Yankees, but this isn't a Yankees show. It seems like a Braves-dominated show. I'll let you guys talk about the Braves a little bit. And after that, we'll talk about Ohtani and his scandal. But what are your guys' expectations? NL East champs, for sure?
Oh, for sure. Check.
For sure. 100%.
I would say NL champs.
NL
Check.
champs. Okay, y'all making the World Series then?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
So
we'll have a bump. We'll have a bump with the Dodgers.
Okay.
But it will be a bump, and that's all it'll be this year. As long as
it'll be like one of those little tiny ones like that are in subdivisions that you can barely even feel.
That's it.
Okay. So I know about Spencer Strider, and he seems that's his name, right? Strider.
Yeah.
So who else should we look out for the pitching staff?
Oh my boy, you come to the right place. Let me tell you, this is what will make or break Atlanta season. Chris Sale being healthy. Chris Sale is what will make or break.
Red Sox.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's my second team.
Second team.
Only because I hate the Yankees so bad growing up. Derek Jeter is the most overrated shortstop of all time. All time.
I'll give you that one.
I played baseball for 16 years. Derek Jeter is the most overrated bat and glove of all time at shortstop in Major League Baseball. He is a joke to wear the golden jacket. He is a joke. He shaved his face good, and he played the politics right in New York City.
Nobody cares about the Yankees. Let me tell you. We got Ronald Acuna, and you don't. And we got Matt Olson, right? So,
come on,
my boy Freddie. Love you out in LA, but you're a Dodger now. We got Big Matt at first base, and yeah, man.
Freddie can kick rocks, and so can his agent. They can both kiss my ass.
Yeah. So
him out there crying, giving Dansby, his kids run up to Dansby, you're a traitor too with the Cubs.
Yeah, man.
He can kick rocks too. We can win them with you, or we can win them without you, bro. And Freddie, here's my problem with Freddie.
Atlanta has done nothing but get better players since.
Freddie would have got a statue, dude. I don't understand it. And I've got a little bit more of a bias whenever my my senior year of high school. That summer, going into my freshman year of college, I land surveyed, and I helped land survey the new Atlanta Braves stadium. So that summer, I got free Atlanta Braves tickets. So I surveyed land by day, all the flower beds and all that. I had the land survey every bit of that little aspect. We got the contract with it. And then when the Atlanta Braves games in the afternoons, man, and at night, it was awesome. It was like the best summer ever. And I'm telling you, man, to go in and do that, and then you go see, and I've got a Myrtle Beach Pelicans where I'm from, Myrtle Beach Pelicans bobblehead, Freddie Freeman, to grow up and see him go with Chipper Jones as a third baseman, and the Atlanta Braves were going through like graveyard times back then, and to see it build the way it got built, and to see Dansby get drafted out of Vandy and stuff like that, and just see the Braves organization get built. And I mean, I'm such a dire fan. My son is 12. Since he was 2 years old, for his birthday, I buy stock in the Atlanta Braves for him as a birthday present every year. So he has ownership because it's owned by the people. That's how diehard I am with it. To see it grow to that far, and then to see where it's like, well, the agent made a mistake. But when you get to that level of professionalism,
You know what you're
an
doing.
agent don't make a mistake, dude.
What
He
does
don't
that
make a
mean? I
mistake.
don't think that made the national media. Like, what's the mistake? What?
No, it made it.
It made the
national
media.
media.
Yeah.
It made it everywhere. It was like Freddie was just blindsided because he never heard any
The counter
fired his
offer.
agent.
Yeah. He didn't get he said he didn't get the counter offer from Atlanta. Atlanta
Yeah,
was going
and
to
he
pay him
wa-
the same thing, and LA was going to. But apparently the agent withheld that information because the agent wanted to go to LA.
Yeah, and he wanted the California pay on it, but the taxes he didn't want to pay, so he stayed in Georgia to pay the Georgia tax on the California contract. Dude, get out of here, man. Freddie Freeman was on pace to have a damn statue at the front standing alongside Hank Aaron.
Oh, 44.
And he went and dipped to LA. Dude, Freddie's from California. He's from right outside Los Angeles. If you want to go home, say you want to go home, bud.
Yeah.
Say you want to
You
go
ain't got
home.
you ain't got
gotta
a
run
lot
us
of kick it.
around.
You ain't got a lot of kick it.
People can say what they want to about fans being loyal, but MLB, it's cutthroat with loyal fans because literally you pick a team and that is your team. March Madness and stuff like that, you can just kind of run with some Cinderella stories and stuff like that. There's none of that in MLB. Pick your team, that's your team. All right. I always follow the Red Sox because I hate the Yankees so much, but the Red Sox lose, I can give a shit. And Jackie Bradley Jr. was their center fielder, graduate of South Carolina, won the World Series with South Carolina in college baseball. So I followed him and stuff like that. But dude,
No Todd Helton, but he's all right.
yeah, he's no Todd Helton with his rings on. But anyways, World Series and college baseball, it's tough to hold your hand down and up at the same time with those rings on. But at the same time, you've got to pick an MLB team and you got to ride with them. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts. The most loyal fans in baseball are Atlanta Braves, New York Yankees, Boston Red Sox, period. They're LA Dodgers, that's a cool hat.
They come and go.
They come and go and they roll. Those three teams, you live and die with your teams, and I respect the Yankees for that only, and it's the only aspect.
Chase,
But
I'd
other
also
than
add,
that,
I'd also add the Cubs.
yeah, I'll go with the Cubs because Chicago's used to losing since Michael
Lovable
Jordan
losers. Lovable.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people did they have just waiting their entire lives to
But
see
I'll give you
the Cubs
make it
win a World Series? Some of them didn't
It's
make it.
hard.
Some of them
hard
are
to
like
be
South Carolina football fans. They'll never see it in their entire life.
Oh my
It's
god.
hard to be a ride or die with two teams in one city though. So that gives me a little bit of grace with the Cubs.
Especially when the White Sox won. They won a couple
That's
World
what I'm
Series.
saying. The Sox have. They had old Euclid over there doing the crazy stuff with the bad old Red Sox, man. But that was it's hard for me to give you a little bit of grace whenever you got two teams in one city.
Okay. All right. So last topic of today. We got Mr. Japan's finest Shohei Ohtani mixed up in mess.
Oh, bro.
Big
I
mess.
love it.
He's
I
done.
love it. I love
I
it.
think he might be done, man. If Pete Rose, I'm a big Pete Rose guy. I mean,
Yes,
Pete
sir.
Rose is done. Otani's
if
done.
Pete Rose is done, you
100%.
gotta cancel this guy for the same reason, right? Like, no matter what. So let's explain it a little bit for the fans, right? We got, Shohei Otani's translator fired because apparently he made some bets with a bookie in LA who's been investigated by the FBI. The Dodgers fired him, but the hidden thing and what people are talking about now is Ohtani covered about $4.5 million of his bets.
Yeah.
Now they're claiming like these two things are separate, but me as a conspiracy theorist and
Ain't
most
no way.
importantly as a
Ain't
bettor,
no way.
I don't.
Nah.
No matter how much money I have, I will not cover Josh's $5 million degenerate bill for him unless there's
We've
something
all
really
been
weird
down
going
bad.
on.
We've all been down bad at blackjack, and
Yeah.
hey,
I'll
here's a
cover
few hundo.
4.5K.
But
I'll cover if I had the money, I'd cover 45K for Josh.
yeah,
But ain't no motherfucking way I'm covering
5 mil.
4.5 mil, dude.
I
That's
know what.
I personally think that this has only been Otani's bets, and he's blaming it on the translator. And one day, the translator is going to wake up in his Japanese mansion and find a big ass duffel bag from Otani, waiting for him at home. His wife's going to be like, "Oh, what's this, honey? What is this?" It's like, yeah, it's the get back from the payout that he took for taking the fall.
Or they're gonna find the translator in a dumpster.
Yeah, either one of two situations. This guy's getting a payout.
It was probably more plausible of playing out than the
What are your guys' thoughts? Right, like to me, this screams like a conspiracy theory. But I love conspiracy theories. What are your guys' thoughts on this?
It's Otani's bets all the way. He needs to go. Gotta go.
Or if he stays, Pete Rose is back in. Either one.
Yeah. I could do both, but it sets a new precedence.
Yeah.
Well, here's my thing, man. And shout out to old Vols Slim Jim. I just want to give a shout out to him because I feel like he's watching. And
Slim Jimmy definitely would get down to this conspiracy.
He would be down with this conspiracy. I'd check you out, brother. You got some good conspiracy theories, and I'm with it. I am with what you say. So I just want to say this with betting and all that. If you ever get into sports betting and you love sports, it is so hard not to bet on sports. Yeah. Because you're like, I know better than anybody else. Like we picked teams the other night for the NCAA bracket, and I was like, you guys were disagreeing with some of the stuff, and some of my bets actually worked. Like they worked big time. BYU dropping out, it worked.
Duquesne.
Yeah.
Duquesne, baby. Cashed in.
Duquesne. So it worked. And once it works for you once in sports, and you're like, I know better, then I gotta keep rolling. And he's no different than any of the rest of us that bet on sports. He's just a player. And in my eyes, that guy, I mean, he's one of the best MLB players right now. But at the same time, like I played high school sports. I was all conference, all region, all state baseball player. If you'd have gave me back in 2008 the chance to bet on the Atlanta Braves or the Boston Red Sox or the LA Dodgers, because I watched the MLB all the time ever since I was 5, 6 years old. I'm like, I know what's going on. I play the sport. And you'd let me win once or twice. And I mean, all conference, all region, all state in South Carolina, that's nothing compared to what he is. But for him to be an all-star like that, and for him to live that kind of life, this is equivalent to him as a person. We're all still people. And the same way was with Pete Rose, man.
It's wire fraud, dude.
Exactly. It's all the same. Pete Rose.
They're gonna hit him with the Rico, man.
Rico, dude. All day. Like Meek Millie, baby. Hit him with a Rico.
Exactly. Hit him with the Rico. But here's what I feel. I think the athlete should be able to bet on sports.
Yeah,
I think that Ohtani should legally be able to bet on sports and they want to hold it. Well, you can't bet on your own team. Why? Why? Because here's my thing. If I'm betting on my team, I'm betting on my team to win. And if you're betting on your own team to lose, then that tells me what I need to know as a teammate. That tells what management is to pay you on your contracts, and you fall out of grace with all of that. Pete Rose wasn't betting on everybody to lose. Whenever he was doing it, he was betting on them to win. And if they did lose, it was because of a shitty pitcher that they had going in. So that's on the GM to make him to move his team up. He would make so much more money as a bettor if he had the odds on his favor where he's betting for crappy people to play and they still win. That shows your faith in somebody. That shows you as a player. If say Dak Prescott wants to start betting on the Dallas Cowboys and they play the Chiefs this week, but he knows that everybody's healthy and he wants to throw the bet on the Cowboys, it shows you something. But if he wants to throw $1 million that they're going to lose, that tells you everything you need to know when it comes to contract time to separate your athletes from your bettors.
Yeah, I think I'll wrap the pod up and I'll wrap this topic up. So I think if you're going to allow it and it's legal in your state, just allow it. But every bet has to be public. You know, Twitter feed automatically goes from your bookie account back to the public. Anything you do is tracked, and anything suspicious is reported. That's how I would handle it if I was Pete Manfred. That's how I would deal with it in general. So we talked Tennessee, Texas, huge matchup coming up. Battle of the Orange. Chase, unfortunately for you, South Carolina is out, but so is the rest of the SEC. It really blows. SEC sucks. Outside of Tennessee. Exactly. And we talked about MLB coming up. Hopefully we'll talk about more Tennessee wins next week, and we'll talk to you about more baseball. Opening day next Thursday. So everybody be ready, be strapped in for all Chase Cox locks for Braves and beyond. So it's
the lock of the season, baby. It's the lock of the season.
Yep. So for Chase, Josh, myself, this has been Locky Top Sports. Locky Top out.
Later.
See ya.
GBO.